What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So Ekko, this is the League of Legends champion from Zone I'm going to be covering today. One of the main champions in the Arcane series. So the most recent video I've done on Ekko, I've actually only done one, which is in 2020. It was the champion teaser trailer, I think it was, a champion trailer, which is really good by the way. So anyways, in this video what am I going to do? I'm going to go through his bio, then I'm also going to go through his skins, I'm going to review also his story, I'm going to go through his special interactions, his spotlight, and what else is there? And his login theme. So yeah, I'll timestamp the whole thing as I always do, and yeah, without further ado, let's go. So Ekko, the boy who shattered time. Now interesting as well, in the review of Mundo last week, we had the interaction between Mundo and Ekko, so it's fitting for Ekko to be the next champion I go through. So anyway, born with genius level intellect, Ekko constructed simple machines before he could crawl. His parents Ina and this name I recognise, Wyeth. This guy's linked to Lucian, I'm sure he is. Vowed to provide a good future for their son, Zorn, with all its pollution and crime, would only stifle Ekko, whom they felt deserved the wealth and opportunities of Piltover. Throughout his youth, he watched his parents age beyond their years, toiling for too many hours under dangerous conditions in suffocating factories. They earned meagre wages while greedy factory owners and sneering Piltovian buyers profited immensely from their labour. It would all be worth it, they reasoned, if that meant their son could one day raise their son to the city above. Fair enough. So I wonder what happens, because I think his parents are dead in Arcane out there, and it's Benzo that's looking after him. Ekko saw things differently. Beyond Zorn's flaws, he saw a dynamic pace overflowing with energy and potential. Zornite's industry, resourcefulness and resilience stirred a hotbed of pure innovation. They had built a thriving culture from catastrophe and flourished where others would have perished. That spirit captivated Ekko and spurred him to a youth of wild invention, shall I say, and innovation. Okay, so he wasn't alone. Victor, maybe? He befriended scrappy orphans, inquisitive runaways, and eager upstarts. Zornites tended to ensure that eschew formal education in favour of apprenticeships, but these lost children of Zorn looked to the labyrinth streets to be their mentor. They wasted time in glorious youthful fashion, foot races through the border markets, or daring climbs from the sump to the promenade. This here is kind of what we saw in the first episode of Arcane as well. They ran wild and free, answering to no one. One night on a solo trek in the rubble of a recently demolished laboratory, there we go, kind of tying in, Ekko made an astonishing find, a shard of blue-green crystal that glittered with magical energy, exactly like the first episode. Every child of Zorn heard tales of Hextech, said to power weapons and heroes alike. Such a thing had the potential to change the world, and now he held a broken one. He scrambled to find more pieces, but the crunching footfalls of trenched-up enforcers told him he wasn't the only one looking. Ekko barely escaped and returned to his home. He experimented madly with the crystal. During one less than scientific attempt, the gem exploded into a vortex of shimmering dust, triggering eddies of temporal distortion, just like what happened when we saw, was it episode 4 or 5 with Victor and Jace. Ekko opened his eyes to see several splintered realities, exactly, and several Ekko versions of himself. Staring back in sheer panic amid the fractured continua. I wonder if we're going to see this maybe in season 2. He'd really done it this time. After some tense coordination between Ekko and his paradoxes, they managed to contain and repair the hole he had torn in the fabric of reality. Eventually he harnessed the shattered crystal's temporal powers into a device that would allow him to manipulate small increments of time, at least in theory. On his name day, his friends badgered him into climbing the ancient clock tower known as Old Hungary, so Ekko brought the untested device along with him. The lost children climbed, stopping occasionally to paint an obscene caricature or two of prominent Piltites. They were near the top when the handhold gave way, sending one of Ekko's friends tumbling to certain doom. Instinctively, as if he'd done it 1,000 times before, Ekko activated his device. The world shattered around him, and he was wrenched backwards through the swirling particles of time. Then Ekko was back, watching his friend reach again for the same rotting plank. The plank broke, the boy fell, but Ekko was ready this time, diving to the edge and grabbing him by the shirt. Ekko tried to swing him to safety, but his friend became caught in the tower's clockwork gear and... rewind. Several attempts later, Ekko finally saved his friend, but to his crew, Ekko's supernatural reflexes had saved their friend before anyone even realised the danger, because he's the only one that experiences this rewind in time. He told them about the crystal and made them swear to secrecy. Instead, they dared each other to new heights of foolishness, knowing Ekko had the means to pluck them out of danger. With each trial and so much error, the time warping device, which Ekko dubbed the Zero Drive, grew more and more stable. The only limit was how many do-overs his body could take before exhaustion sets in, which we saw in his champion trailer. Ekko's time-bending antics had made him a person of interest to some of Zorn and Piltover's most inventive, most powerful and most dangerous individuals. But his own interest is in his friends, his family, and his city. He dreams of the day when his hometown rises up to dwarf the so-called City of Progress, when Piltover's golden veneer will be overshadowed by the towering ingenuity and relentless spunk of a Zorn born not from generations of privilege, but from sheer daring. He may not have a plan yet, but he's got all the time in the world. And after all, it's Ekko's Z Drive can change the past. How can it be to change the future? Exactly. So that was really good, actually. A really good read into the origins of Ekko. Interesting to see there's some kind of similarities and crossovers between this, what we see here, and also in the Arcane series Season 1. And it'd be interesting to see if some of this trickles over into Season 2 of Arcane as well. Didn't mention anything about his death of his parents, and I'm going to have to look this up afterwards. I'm certain that name rings a bell and ties in with Senna and Lucian. Maybe Senna's dad. Might be Senna's dad that ties in with this guy, I'm sure. Anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his skins. Let's go. So, this is Ekko's skin. This is the original skin. Prodigy from the rough streets of Zorn, Ekko manipulates time to twist any situation to his advantage. Using his own invention, the Zero Drive, which we mentioned in the bio, he explores the branching possibilities of reality to craft the perfect moment. Though he revels in his freedom, when there's a threat to his friends, he'll do anything to defend them. To outsiders, Ekko seems to achieve the impossible the first time, every time, which we know is definitely not the case. Yeah, this skin is good as well. I like it. You can see his other realities in time as well in the background. Nice. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Wow, that one is Sandstorm Ekko. Shout out to Shurima. No bio or lore there, but that looks really cool, and I like how his weapon, I'm going to say his weapon. You can see the hourglass, should I say, on his back as well. Love that. Next one is Academy Ekko. Yeah, one of my favourite ones for Draven, actually. Or Darius, should I say, in this one. Academy Ekko. Notice from the Dean. Ekko is henceforth suspended from the Academy. Everyone basically gets suspended, don't they? Academy grounds for behaviour including, but not limited to, illegal use of chemistry equipment, illegal use of Academy electronics, splitting time streams in order to skip class, as you can see in the background there, and vandalism of athletic department property. Nice. Okay, next one is Project, and I love the Project skins. Ironically though, out of all the Project skins, this is probably my least favourite. The green kind of works, but I don't know. Anyways, a hacker prodigy picked up from the lower sectors by Ash. It didn't take much to convince Ekko to help her take down Project. Using a powerful key decipher, a decryptor, and a mind turn for disruption, Ekko can always find a way into the code. Yeah, it looks cool though. It does look good. Is that Yasuo in the background? Or that's just a reflection or one of his other versions. Okay, nice. And overall, I love the Project theme as well. So, this one's True Damage. Yeah, I love True Damage. One of my favourite music videos as well. A boy genius from the rough streets, Ekko turned to music as a way to express himself. His prestigious lyricism and technological savvy could have brought him a way out, but instead he chose to stay and uplift his neighbourhood. Now he faithfully resists the temptations of fame and glory, garnering a following among the youth, young and hopeful, who see him as an avatar for their own potential. Yeah, and I love the skin. I love all the True Damage skins. And I think, did I say a second ago? It is one of my favourite music videos from League of Legends as well. This one, Pulse Fire. Cool, loving the fur as well. Pulse Fire Ekko. A time fugitive who built his pulse-fire suit from scratch, Ekko improved on the Remembrance technology, crafting a modified chrono break device that allows him to make short temporal jumps, creating time breaks within a singular timeline, and to collapse them all into a singular, anomaly-free singularity. So this seems to be the improved version of what he's currently got. Nice. Okay, and then we have 2 in the Legacy Vault and 1 upcoming. So SKTT1, this is obviously honoring Duke's winning performance as Ekko during the 2016 World Championships. Cool, you can see him in the foreground there. Okay, and then we have Trick or Treat. Perhaps in hindsight, looping time to get an infinite number of fun-sized chocolate bars wasn't worth shattering this fabric of reality for. Or maybe it was. Yeah, that's a good use of it actually. Who is that on that roof? Looking sinister. I don't know who that is. And then we have upcoming as well. Obviously Firelight Ekko. I mean, come on. Celebrating the Riot X of the Arcane event. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's popping. But I am not going to put that in the rankings because it's not been released yet. It's only upcoming. So, if I had to give you my top 3, in third place, it would have to be. This is pretty tricky actually. Pulsefire. Pulsefire would be my number 3. My number 2 would have to be Sandstorm. I love that one. Give me Aladdin vibes there as well. Yeah, I really do like that skin. And number 1 would have to be True Damage. Yeah, True Damage for me would be number 1. This one's perfect. Perfect skin for Ekko. So yeah, so that's my top 3. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his login theme. Let's go. So, login theme. Okay. That was nice. So this music, if not directly or very similar, is in his Champion trailer. Definitely in his Champion trailer. And it works with that scene as well. Okay. It's in the build up. You know what as well, it's really giving me like project vibes as well. This music is kind of like that style, or at least in my opinion I think that would really suit that style. Nice. Okay, so that was decent. That was a decent logging theme. I think it perfectly suits Ekko and what I remember of what I saw of Ekko, where he was fighting that Chem Baron, where he had to go back in time a few times. That's perfect for that. And also, I think this would sync nicely with the whole overall theme of the project skins as well, which is not a bad thing. So that is going to be that one for the logging theme. What I am going to do now is I have the story, the spotlight, and the special interactions. So I think what I should do now is let me do special interaction. No, should I do the special interactions first before the story? My hesitation is I think if I do the story first, maybe some of the interactions might make a bit more sense. So yeah, let's do the story first, then special interactions, and then I'll finish off with the spotlight. Let's go. So this is the story, Lullaby. So Lullaby, it had been a week-long sort of day. For Ekko, maybe because going back in time so many times, this was both literal, there we go, and metaphorical. Everything went wrong and it took forever to push it back just right. First, a junior had nearly got himself killed trying to climb Old Hungry. The younger boy wanted so desperately to be like Ekko that he vaulted up to the side of the clockwork tower at the heart of the sump before any of the friends could stop him. It was the first tricky jump that nearly did the kid in. Good thing Ekko had triggered his Z drive again. 18 times he heard the blood-curdled scream of the boy falling to his death before he figured out how and where to arrest the fall and save his life. So the poor kid died 18 times before. Jeez. Then, while pillaging a scrap heap with ties to Clan Ferros for bits of tech, a particularly aggressive gang of villainauts surrounded him. Big ones too, covered in arguments that made the ugly even uglier. Ekko was surprised. Where are we now? Ekko was surprised at their speed, but less surprised at how they shot to kill. Pill-tights and their backup didn't care about the lives of sump snipes like him. Good thing the Z-Drive existed to get him out of seemingly inescapable encounters like this one, or that one. After a few dozen rewinds, he changed tack and pulled out his latest toy, the Flash Binder. It was meant to explode in a dazzling flash and pull anything not bolted down in towards its centre. But the Flash Binder didn't work, well, at least not as intended. It exploded. And that's when things got interesting. Unlike most of Ekko's inventions that exploded, the blue hot magical detonation froze in mid-blast. Columns of billowing blue energy fanned out from the epicenter, maybe it's inspiration from Jinx. Bits of the disc's shrapnel twisted as a snail's pace along what a normal explosion velocity would be a deadly trajectory. Even the spherical binding flash itself was frozen in space. And then it got even more interesting. The explosion imploded, reforming into the palm-sized flashbanger and rewound back towards Ekko, landing square in his palm as cold as the wind. Cool, Ekko thought. He rewound the moment so he could throw it at the villainauts a few more times, for science, of course. When Ekko finally got home, his body was tired, but his mind was alert. The apartment was functional, the furniture sparse and with little flourish. Ekko's room was a little curtained-off nook filled with discarded books, bits of scavenged technology and hiding spots for the Z-Drive and Flashbinder. Today was one of the rare days both his parents would be home early and he had something to tell them. Mum, Dad, he practiced to his reflection, which stared back at him from the Z-Drive's shiny cylindrical surface. I'm not going to apply to any of the upstate clans or a snooty Pality school, or Palace, yeah, okay. I'm staying here with you and my friends. I'll never turn my back on Zom. The words were filled with confidence that comes with being alone in an empty apartment. With only warmth and reflections to respond, their response was silence. He heard the jingle of the keys muffled by the front door. Without a second to spare, Ekko tucked his Z-Drive under the table and dapped a black cloth over it. He didn't want them worrying about his escapades with an unstable hex-tech time manipulation device. Obviously. The door opened and Ekko's parents returned for the first time that night. They looked like strangers to their son, their job aging them even more in the weeks that he'd seen them last together, which he mentioned in the bio. Their routine was predictable. They'd shuffle home, supply a meagre meal purchase with the day's wages, save the rest of the money for taxes and bribes, then fall asleep in the chairs, chins resting on chests, until Ekko removed their workbooks and helped them to their beds. The bags under their eyes carried enough weight to pull their heads down. Tucked under her mother's arm was a small paper-wrapped bundle, bound at the ends with twine. "Hello, my little genius," his mother expended energy she could afford in an attempt to make the words come alive. Yet her expression in that moment of lightness, when she saw her son sitting at the table waiting, was something no one could fake. Hey Mum, hey Dad. The three of them hadn't sat at the table as a family in such a long time. He quietly chatted, whatever that is himself, not saying something substantial. His father beamed with pride, then he scowled as he brushed his fingers through his son's mohawk. Ekko struggled to remember the time when his father didn't look so old, before the prematurely thinning hair and the deep wrinkles in the brow. I thought I told you to cut that hair, his father said. It'll make you stand out in the Piltover Academies too much. The factory wood's the only place you can look like that. They'll take anyone, and you're not anyone. How are your applications coming? This was the moment. Ekko felt the words he'd practiced swimming up to be spoken. The hope in his father's eyes gave him pause. His mother filled the empty moment before Ekko could. We have a treat for you. She set the brown parcel down on the table. They pulled the chairs close to watch as Ekko reached over and untied a knotted twine, straightened both strings and laid them next to him. He unravelled the butcher's paperwork without a single rip. In the centre lay a small loaf of fragmented sweetbread, its crusty glazed with honey and candied nuts. The cake was from wherever that is. She made the finest pastries in all of Zorn and charged a pretty penny for them too. Ekko and his friends often pilfered her dresses from the rich folk who paid the hefty price without even a tiny hesitation. Ekko's head shut up to see his parents' reaction. Their eyes were beaming. This is too much, he said. We need meat and real supper, not sweets. We would never forget your name day, his father said with a chuckle. Looks like you did though. Ekko had completely lost track of what day it really was. Still, the gift was too extravagant, especially since he was about to shatter their hopes for him. Guilt rose in his throat. The landlord will have our heads if we're late with rent again. Let us worry about that. You deserve something nice, his mother said. Go on, you can have cake for dinner once a year. What are you going to eat? I'm not hungry, she said. I ate at work. His father lied. Cheese and meats from Piltover. Real nice stuff. They watched Ekko take a tiny bite of the cake. It was sweet and buttery, and the crumbs stuck to his fingers. It was so rich the taste stuck to his tongue. Ekko went to divide the cake into 3 pieces, but his mother shook her head. Her soft voice hummed the name's day's playful melody, and he knew they wouldn't partake. It was his parents' gift to him. Can't do it now, can he? His father would have joined in singing the name day if he hadn't already fallen asleep. Slumped in his chair, chin dropped to his chest, Ekko glanced over to his mother, her eyes fluttering closed as the melody was swallowed by her own encroaching slumber. One future Ekko briefly considered was the factory wood life and barely living wages for some of the city's benefit, for someone else's glory. He couldn't stomach the thought. He remembered fragments of conversations, snippets heard through the filter of infant ears of his parents, whispered dreams of inventions and entrance to the clans. Ideas they hoped would change the world and continue to a future unwritten by the birth of their son. Ekko knew that they saw him as their only hope, but he loved life in Zorn. If he did as they wished, who would take care of his friends? He couldn't dash their dreams, not tonight, not on this day, maybe tomorrow. Ekko didn't finish his cake in the first bite. Instead, he primed his Z-drive. His home shattered into swirling eddies of coloured dust. The thrum of the everyday fell to absolute silence. The moment splintered and enriched him in a vortex of light. When the fragments of the future resembled in the past, Ekko's parents were coming home for the second time that night. It would be followed by a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and so on. Each time he went back, Ekko didn't change a single thing. The light in his mother's eyes, his father's proud smile as he nodded off. But Ekko fought the edges of sleep to hold on to the stolen moments forever, until finally he let his mother's soft voice and the warmth of their little apartment lull him to sleep. It had been a week-long sort of day. That's kind of sad, isn't it? That's a nice story, nice ending, but kind of sad. The guy gets cake once a year. Clearly his mum and dad are poor. They're putting all their hope on him to have a better life than them. The guilt obviously he's feeling for letting them down, and the fact that he has the Z drive and is able to go back as many times as he can just to savour that moment, because that will probably be the last moment that happens for various reasons. If he says no, it might be the last moment, and even if he says yes and goes to Piltover in the academies, it might be his last moment as well. So quite a sad but really nice story. Anyway, enough of that emotional rubbish. What we'll do now is we're going to go on to... What will we go to next? Special interactions. Let's go.
I had a crush until you started talking to the gun.
We knew that he had a little bit of a crush on her when he was younger.
Guns. Original. You used to be cool. You forgot your roots, Vi.
Okay.
Hey, sellout.
Sellout.
One day, you'll come back to Zorn.
True.
So, how about that weather? You'll always be Zorn to me. Who called the cops? Scared of a little revolution, Caitlin? Dibs on the hat. Nice face. Shame if something happened to it. I like you better on paper, poster boy. I'll never be like this guy. Never go full robot. I'll never be like this guy.
Okay.
You're everything wrong with Zahn. You give Zahn a bad name. Garen, shouted any good names lately?
Yes, it is.
Zahn! Go where you want, Mundo. Outside of Zahn. Great.
Okay.
Pilties.
Pilties.
Last warning. Go home. You're in the wrong neighborhood. Run away, little Pilty.
I wonder if we'll see Camille
I lost a pet rat once.
in season 2 as
Is
well.
that you, Mr. Tails?
Might be.
Take my time machine, Ergot. You clearly need it more. I'll poke your eye out. Head out. Face off. How do you even work? See? You're part of the problem. Zahn's future's about to get brighter. Think you're Zahn? Prove it. Time fight! I really hope you're not the future me.
Yeah, time fight. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I could have survived that. But thanks anyway. You gotta teach me that trick, Zill. Gotta do better than that, Law Dog.
Law Dog.
Swing and a miss, Top Hat. Were you trying to hit me? Next time, shoot where I'm gonna be. How many
Hey.
Pilties does it take to make a hammer? 0. They make them in Zahn. How many Pilties does it take to make a hammer? 2, if you count Jace's reflection. Oh, Jace.
What
How
was
many
that?
Pilties does it take to make a hammer? All of them. I'm old enough to buy this. Yep. Put an angel on the job. I could use a break. I'm sure I won't be needing this.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'll take it anyhow.
Yeah, you won't need that.
A second chance? I thought I was on my 5th. I'm no angel. 3 forces at work. Triple threat. Not much of a hat guy, but this thing is awesome. Rabidon must have been a fun guy. All in. Just my style. Let's go hunt some liches? That is one big tooth. And I'm fighting with teeth. Can't hide your weak spots from me. This thing creeps me out. I love hitting Pilties with their own toys. Huh.
Okay.
Freezing time. Interesting.
Yeah.
Some things do get better with time. Yep. This thing has a bright future.
So Guardian Zonias and you imagine that build. Yeah, unkillable. Huh.
How could I not buy this? Stops time?
Exactly.
Huh. Thought I'd never get a break. It's like it was made for me. Note to self. Don't touch Cop's hat. Note to self. Hammer is actually a gun.
The guy actually writes it down. Love it.
Worked in another timeline. Yep. That went exactly how I didn't want it to go. Second first time for everything. Let's not do that again. Back to square 7.
Back to square.
Time to start some trouble. Ah, that fresh start smell. Someone's day's about to get wrecked.
Okay. Okay, so that was his special interactions. They were really good, actually. Really good. I like the interactions between him and obviously characters from mainly Piltover and Zahn, and it means a little bit more to me after watching the Arcane series as well. So that was very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off with the Spotlight. Let's go. So,
The League of Legends Champion Spotlight.
Champion
featuring
Spotlight.
Ekko, the boy who shattered time.
yeah, I love that. Love that. So, let's find out about his abilities. Which I kind of already know about from playing the game, but let's see.
This is how we say hello in Zahn.
Oh, okay. Slow-mo. Okay. And we have we have the winner. Love it.
Ekko's a rebellious street kid with smarts. a daredevil genius who uses his invention to survive and thrive.
Let me fast forward to his abilities. There we go. Let's go to his abilities.
Ekko's passive is Z-Drive Resonance. Whenever Ekko hits an enemy with a basic attack or damaging ability, he applies a stack of resonance. The stacks drop off after a few seconds, but if Ekko's able to thunk the same target 3 times in quick succession, the stacks trigger, dealing extra damage and slowing the target briefly. That's against minions and monsters. Triggering resonance on an enemy champion applies the same extra damage and slow, but also gives Ekko a brief speed boost.
Okay, didn't know
Finally, Ekko can apply resonance to multiple targets at the same time, and after triggering his stacks on a target, they briefly turn immune to his passive for a few seconds.
Interesting.
Ekko's Q is Time Winder, a medium-range skill shot that serves as his primary damage and harass ability. Ekko tosses out a chrono gizmo that damages all units in its path. Once the device reaches its max distance or strikes an enemy champion, it expands, creating a large but short-lasting slowing field. After it collapses back down, Time Winder shoots back to Ekko,
one of my favorite skins.
Damage to whatever the ability strikes
that's
on
one
its
of my
way
favorite
home.
skins, definitely.
With good aiming, you should be able to hit your lane opponent twice, so get super aggressive with Time Winder.
Let's find out.
After you land it, all you have to do is walk up, which should be easy enough thanks to the ability Slow, and smack him in the face to trigger your passive. Ekko's W is Parallel Convergence, which is a passive and an active.
Because it's already hit twice, then it hits once the passive gets the speed boost. Right, okay.
Passively, Ekko's basic attacks deal extra magic damage to all low health enemies, including minions, monsters, and yes, champions.
Got it.
When he activates his W, he bats a time thing to a target location, which, after a brief pause, creates a pretty big slowing sphere. It'll fade away after a few seconds, but if Ekko manages to enter the sphere before then, it'll detonate and grant him a quick shield.
Got it.
Even better though, enemies caught inside the sphere when Ekko detonates it end up stunned for a few seconds. Ekko's enemies see him cast Parallel Convergence, but won't be able to spot where he aims it until just a few moments before the zone kicks in. Cast Parallel Convergence on your escape route whenever you're running for safety. The shield usually helps you survive incoming damage, and the slow zone will leave most enemies in the past. Ekko's E is Phase Dive. On cast, Ekko dashes a fixed distance to a target location before gaining a bunch of range on his next basic attack. Once Ekko begins his next attack, he blinks to his target, dealing extra damage and applying all the on-hit and spell effects he has hidden up his sleeve. Remember that Ekko can pass through terrain with both parts of Phase Dive, meaning he can get pretty damn slippery when he wants to. Phase Dive has a ton of uses. Dive across walls, dodge enemy skill shots before blowing up a squishy, or, if you like living, just use it to make your way to safety.
Nice.
Hella uses.
Got out of Bard's ultimate there.
Ekko's ult is Chrono Break. Whenever it's available, Ekko leaves behind an image of himself that indicates wherever he was exactly 4 seconds ago. When he hits his Giga Chrono Break button, that's where he'll reappear, dealing massive damage to all nearby enemies and recovering a portion of his lost health.
Got it.
The trail is a super useful way for Ekko to keep track of where he's going to Chrono Break back to. But remember that it's not just him that can see it. Allies and enemies can too, although they will need vision of Ekko. Note that Ekko briefly turns untargetable and invulnerable whenever he uses Chrono Break, and that when he reappears, he'll heal up based on the amount of punishment he's taken over the last 4 seconds.
Nice.
Use Chrono Break to dive a little bit deeper, or abandon your teammates when the fight goes wrong.
There we go,
It's not your fault they did time travel.
That always happens. I'll have an Ekko that'll go in, just YOLO's in. Uses his ultimate, but because he's YOLO'd in, other teammates will think, oh shit, I need to go in and support now, go and help now, try and turn this fight around. And then he just goes, I'm out of there. And poor Maokai is there just getting, he's gonna die now, innit? What did I say? So let me go now quickly to that's combos. Let's have a look at gameplay. Gameplay is where are we? Have I gone too fast? There we go. Gameplay.
And deal tons of damage.
Let's have a look.
Keep an eye out for opportunities where you can abuse your opponent's cooldowns. Even from level 2, you'll have enough threat to punish mistakes. So while it's okay to poke and farm from range with Time Winder, don't be afraid to get aggressive when the time is right. Chrono Break gives Ekko all of the tools he needs to go in and turn around seemingly lost fights.
Nope, Kennen.
Here,
Bye-bye.
he times the ability perfectly, dodging Lux's ult and styling for the triple.
Oh, the flash as well.
As you start grouping, try using parallel convergence to set up traps for the enemy team. Without vision, they'll walk right into your stun and pretty much hand you a free kill. Also, while we're on this clip, check this out. Dodging abilities with your E's blink requires some predictive play, but when you pull it off, it looks super sick.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is how to not play Ekko. With poor positioning, you'll quickly end up giving huge chunks of your life to super avoidable poke. Sometimes so much that you're forced to ult just to try and survive otherwise lethal damage. No matter how cool you think you are, you're still pretty squishy. So try to save your ult for the enemy team and not to cover your mistakes.
Sivir chunks though. Sivir chunks. Sivir just
By using
the damage on
Chrono Break
Sivir is
just to
silly.
reposition, Ekko totally catches Lux off guard and immediately puts her team on the back foot. Speed boost from his passive, along with phase dive's 2 gap closers, mean that your enemies are going to have a pretty hard time getting away from you, even if they're flying
and
by.
he's 3 levels up as well.
Cheating.
I mean, come on.
Alright, final clip time. Ekko nearly dies like 4 times or something stupid.
What?
He survives Shockwave by chrono breaking through it before dancing on the brink of the fight time and time again.
What kind of saved
Check out
him?
his positioning here. Because he never commits and positions at the edge of the fight, he can use Time Winder to whittle his enemies down and go in when it matters. Thanks to Maokai, he's able to dive back in with a shield and pick apart the enemy team.
Nice. Ooh, just.
Oh, and he also totally outplays Zac with some fancy phase dive footwork.
Oh.
I guess Zac's echolocation wasn't quite good enough to it. You'll trigger the stun, and they'll walk right in. Not play Ekko.
Let me see that one time.
Chrono break just to reposition. Enemies are gonna have a pretty before dancing on the brink of the fight. Time and commits and positions go in when it matters.
Let me see this one more time.
Thanks to Maokai, he's able to dive back in with a shield and pick apart the enemy team.
Well, the guy's got about 2% life left.
Oh, and he also
5%.
totally outplays Zac with some fancy phase dive footwork.
Okay.
I guess Zac's echolocation wasn't quite good enough.
Oh, come on, that was good.
Oh man, we almost made it without a pun.
That joke was terrible though, but okay.
Thanks for tuning in
Okay.
to the Ekko Champion Spotlight.
So yeah, that was a good ending to this review on Ekko. Good to see his abilities in the game and also the tactics and combos there as well. Really interesting to see them. Learned quite a lot actually. I've played Ekko maybe twice in ARAM. Played against him and with him a few times as well, but I didn't know all of his abilities to that extent as well, so good to watch that. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed my thoughts and reaction and review of Ekko, the champion from Zan. I will be continuing this theme and doing another champion of Zan next week as well. And yeah, if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, maybe also subscribe for more content like this. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.